I'm really starting to think, like, I get it now. I get why those top Democrats, Doug, were covering for him. Like, I think they saw what we are all seeing, and they were like, you have no idea what you're asking for, people.
What I would say, Megyn, is, and I agreed and agree with you, he is not fit for a second term. But I can say, even though I was happy he stood down, I understood in his State of the Union and in some of his remarks what he's been trying to accomplish, whether it be in the Middle East or with Ukraine. We might agree, we might disagree, but I had a sense of where the man stood at a variety of different times. With Kamala, I have no sense of where she stands on anything in any way. It's all sound bites, talking points. And I would say, and Hogan's in this business too, and I'm curious his reaction, pretty lame talking points most of the time. You don't really have much sense that you're getting to know her.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing to know. That's what we're gleaning. There's no there. She seems like the most boring dinner companion ever. Now I totally get why she had to rehearse her clever dinner conversation, because it doesn't come naturally. She probably doesn't read. She doesn't have a vast wealth of personal or professional experience to draw from. So, and she knows it. So what she's done instead is make it all about Trump. She's switched, as you point out, Hogan, from the joy to he's the devil incarnate. And that we're hearing more and more. We're seeing angry Kamala. Never again. Never. Never. He's going to unleash the military on the American people, which is a lie. That is not what Trump said at all. We've gone over it on this show time and time again. And here yesterday, she almost slipped in Wisconsin and had a deplorables moment, expanding it beyond just Trump is bad. Listen here.
The notion over the last several years coming from Trump and those who follow him, meaning people like who he's running with, not his voters, but just others. The notion that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down is just wrong-headed.
All right. Yet again, a canned line she's used a million times, but you heard her there. She slipped. She that's what she thinks of his supporters too, and then she corrected herself before she landed it.
Sure, and you've pointed out how many times she's been lying about Donald Trump. Her closing argument for the last couple of days was basically more debates and a doctor's note about his cholesterol. That obviously didn't go anywhere. But she lied on that debate stage about the bloodbath line, the debunked Charlottesville line. He wants to sign some crazy bill about banning abortion. That's not true. He wants to raise taxes. Obviously not true. So her consistency is the fact that she focuses her entire campaign on her opponent and refuses to tell people why she would be the better choice to improve their lives. And in large part, I believe that's because she's been in a seat of power for 4 years from which to do just that. As I mentioned, the things we face today with high prices for gas and groceries, she's the one who signed off and voted as a tie-breaking vote, so we would have to do that. She's the one who left the border wide open. So all the things we're facing and fighting against right now in our personal lives, it's because of her. So if she talks about her own record, she's got a serious problem. If she gets too close to Joe Biden, also a serious problem. And so for the people out there watching this, they're seeing a candidate that really offers them nothing except more of the same. And from the campaign standpoint, they've got the problem of, we should put her out more. Well, that means people are going to see that she's more radical than Joe Biden, sure, but she's way less likable as well. And so they have a lot of structural problems. This thing is very close. It still comes down to ground game, and I understand all that. But I'm telling you, I have seen this play out now for the last several months, and it's shocking to me that even with the media covering for her and carrying her water, that she's still not able to be leading in these swing states.
She needs to distance herself from Joe Biden, Doug, but that's risky because Joe Biden still has some ardent supporters on Team Blue, and he's still alive and sort of well. And he doesn't seem to much like her pretending she wasn't part of his administration. You know, we saw what he was doing when she tried to inject herself into the hurricane politics, countermanding her at every turn. You know, no, Ron DeSantis is doing a great job. He and I are talking at that cabinet meeting where he was like, hold on, I'm not done. So she's in a tricky spot because she needs to stiff arm him, but she can't upset him because he's still in a very powerful position.
That's absolutely right. What has startled me is when they say, how are you going to be different from Joe Biden? She's not pivoted to the economy and said, look, we had an approach, or he had an approach during the pandemic. Go through it and say, we're in different times. We need different policies. And here are my policies. That would have been forward-looking, allowed her to differentiate without attacking. But so far, I haven't heard anything like that other than the canned remarks, which increasingly are sounding, as I said before, inauthentic, but also antiseptic, if I can use that word.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, except for when she's like dabbling with the deplorable stuff, Hogan, which is new. You heard that soundbite I just played. She got close again. I mean, this is the same person who, you know, we played it, part of it. Every day there's a new version of it. I really believe that a leader is somebody who inspires people to lift other people up, not put other people down. And that's what she wants us to believe she does. But listen to her here getting close to a deplorables moment again in SOT, I think is it 8, SOT 8.
I have seen a lot of Republicans go up to Liz Cheney and thank her. Yeah. And they may not be doing it publicly. Because I think she has shown, to your point, extraordinary courage, especially in this environment post-January 6th, where there's an undercurrent that is violent in terms of the language and the tenor. And for her to show the courage she has shown is extraordinary.
There's an undercurrent of violence against Democrats, Hogan, not against Trump.
Right.
No.
Who's
only one person took a bullet, twice. But okay.
Sure. This is, again, part of the inherent problem she has as a candidate. She's just bad at this. We all know. But this is another way she's like Joe Biden. Joe Biden stood there with that red backdrop all angry and basically said half of the country are racists and fascists and Hitlerian. I mean, The Atlantic just had a piece last week where it compared Donald Trump to Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin all rolled into one. I mean, the rhetoric of their side has been ratcheted up now for a decade against Donald Trump. And she's flirting with disaster here by basically saying everybody in this country who disagrees with me is dumb. They've been saying it in some form or fashion because they pointed out, oh, no, you think the economy's bad, that you're paying more for gas and groceries? No, you're just stupid. It's really better. I promise you that.
You're welcome.
So their disdain for the worker, their disdain for people who disagree with them is so overwhelmingly obvious at this point. It makes people kind of get their back up and go, wait a minute, who are you to tell me what I'm feeling here at home when I know how I'm suffering and I know who caused it, and that's you.
Let me squeeze this in. All around my town in Connecticut, I see Harris Wald's signs. Sure. I think obviously Connecticut is going blue, but these are the ones that I object to. Harris Walls, obviously. That's the sign.
Oh, gosh.
Harris Walls, obviously. To the exact point you make, which is like, it really makes you want to flip the bird at the sign, and it makes you absolutely certain that you will get out there and vote, which, by the way, I did this week, and I voted for Trump. And that vote is in the mail and being banked right now. So I am flipping the bird to their stupid signs. And it plays perfectly into that elitist, like, only you losers would even consider voting Trump. 4 years of crushing interest rates, runaway inflation, and reckless government spending. And who is paying the price? You. You might have bills stacking up, debt collectors on your back. You might be barely able to keep food on the table. Done with debt can be a way out. They have developed new aggressive strategies designed to get you out of debt permanently without bankruptcy or loans. Done with Debt stands between you and your bill collectors. They can go head to head with these guys, getting your balances reduced, interest rates slashed, and penalties stopped. They create a plan to end your debt fast and put more cash in your pocket every month. And right now, Done with Debt is accepting new clients. But you do need to act fast. Some credit relief programs expire. Before you even make another payment, consider a visit to donewithdebt.com or call 1-888-322-1054 right now. 1-888-322-1054. Speak with one of their debt relief strategists for free by going to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.